everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of The Worst Heroes You Know, a Tales of the Valiant actual play sponsored by Kobold Press and premiering right here on whichever platform you happen to be watching this on. Today, we bring you a story of outcasts, a tale of monsters, heroes, and everything in between, where choices made and chances taken can completely alter the course of your life, for better or for worse. And who better to make those choices than the people you see before you today? So, let's get to know them, shall we? Starting with Kappa.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kappa. Christian is okay too. I don't know what I'm introducing.
Where they can find you. I knew there was something I forgot to do during the meeting prior to this.
It's okay. You can find me on the internet at the Kappa Chris, mostly on Twitter. You can also find me having written for some adventures and books in the TTRPG space, namely Unnamed Corruption and the Tales from Sina Una.
Hell yeah, I love that book, actually. I'm learning things today. That's so cool. Anyway, take it away, Lamar.
Coming to last is both, neither, and everyone in between. My name is Lamar the Con Guy. It's Lemar the Con Guy. You can find me on all social medias made before 2023 at Lamar the Con Guy or linktr.ee/Lamar the Con Guy or LamarTheConGuy.com. I'm funny and I have imposter syndrome. Here we go.
I got a lot more real than I thought it would, but honestly, it's the same. I relate heavily. We're starting off great. C.
Themes for the show. One could say, hey everyone, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet at C Plays RPG or as a co-producer, dramaturg, and performer over on Transplanter RPG. I'm keeping it short and sweet. Just like maybe our characters' lifespans. We'll see what happens later on.
Yes. And finally, last but not least, Sam.
A minute. We'll get into that. I'm Sam. You can find me on Twitch at Sam, SEUM, or you can find me anywhere on the internet at just Sam, JUSTSEUM. I do full-time charity productions in TTRPG D&D space for Wounded Warrior Project. I also am somehow cast amongst incredible tables on the internet. That's it. Oh, pronounce she, her.
Oh, yeah. Rock and roll. And finally, I am HamaSamaKun, your dungeon master for this evening, and I welcome you, dear viewer, to take a seat, grab a beverage or snack of your choosing, and prepare yourself to meet the worst heroes you know. Part 1. The thing about failure. The thing about failure is that everyone can't wait to tell you about it. Not their personal failures, no, but yours, as if you weren't there, as if you weren't living it. Failure is the mind grappling with the limitations of the flesh, where dream and reality dance across what is and what never will be. I discovered long ago that what makes a man is not his failures, for I have failed so beautifully, so completely, for so long, but never again. So I welcome you, Omen, Odette, Artur, Maisel, for your last great failure starts and ends here. The camera pulls back as torrents of rain begin to fall on once grand and noble monuments, blanketing the world in opalescent sheets that reflect and distort the light of a burning city. The world is quiet here. Not like it was. Nothing is quite like it was. We cut to a few days ago, where our heroes, bold and flawed as they may be, stand side by side against their toughest foe to date, a pack of rats. So, as we begin our story proper, I have but one thing to say. Roll for initiative.
All right.
All right. Okay.
And it begins.
Here we
And
don't
it begins.
go. Here we go very slowly.
How's it looking? How's it looking, y'all?
Technically, there's no such thing as a crit fail on initiative, so I have a 3.
Oh, perfect.
I also have a 3.
Oh, Jesus.
Matchy.
Alrighty. So
Got an 8.
Artur, we have Basil, we have Omen, and Odd. What are we looking?
A 9.
Oh my god, a non?
Guys.
There we go.
Wait.
All right.
All right.
It's going great. We are setting the precedent early. But your party finds themselves in the basement of Handsome Harvey's, a tavern run by the aforementioned Harvey, who has since fallen on hard times after discovering a bit of a rat problem. Your party was tasked with eliminating the threat, and that's going about as well as you'd think. Up first in the order is Sam, oddly enough. You find yourself doing battle with feral rats as one comes careening through the air, teeth bared. Would you like to describe your character?
Yeah, you could see this 4-foot small folk get even smaller as she ducks underneath this brown leafy hat atop her short brown cropped hair and bringing forth her 2 hands that each have a brown egg in them. Coming up to block her face, not much of her body that is covered in more neutral brown leafy attire, almost as if it's perfectly fitted to her, but also a little loose there on the hips as she has this makeshift kind of skirt scenario with her pack that has plentiful more eggs of her laying within it. I don't want to go!
Luckily for you, you watch as the rat comes careening over you, actually, just not quite used to the small folk size, and immediately flies into the face of one of your companions. However, in this instance, we flash back. We see clouds, gentle light streaking through an emerald canopy, and you, Odd, wandering, not lost. No, lost implies a predetermined destination, and too often you find yourself without one. Life is simple like that. You find yourself joined by the local fauna, squirrels, birds, beetles, constant companions through thick and thin, or rather, thicket and thin. Lost in thought, you watch as a figure approaches on your mid-morning walk, one you recognize. You see Elizabeth. She's a tall woman, strikingly beautiful, with gentle orange curls and a dark complexion. Along her shoulders and neck are red scales that seem to glimmer and shine as they catch the light. You all know them to be a red dragon, by their own admission, but rather than collecting gold and treasure, she collects friends, and is thus the one facilitating most of the guild's operations. And she just cherishes every single one of you, truly, as they walk over. Good morning, Odd.
Well, it's a good morning to you too. Are you okay?
Yeah, I didn't really mean to run across you, but I'm glad that I did. I kind of looks over her shoulder back towards the direction of Worst House, the sort of guild hall, a repurposed manor, as you can tell there's something eating away at her. There's this very cheery, almost maternal demeanor to her, but it's maybe duct tape on a dam at this point. She says, Are you happy? I don't mean to offend or anything. I'm curious. I hear them when they think they're alone. The other members, and they're all they're all miserable. But
Did you ask? Did they say that?
in not as many words, but the sentiment is there. And,
Oh.
But not you. At least
I got
don't
no
think.
reason to be. Well,
What do
a
you
little
mean?
sad now, and all my friends are not feeling good. Well, what I mean is that I can produce things that are very good for the world, so that's a good thing. If people want to avoid me, that's all right, and I'll respect that, and maybe leave like a little egg somewhere hidden in a bush, near them, just in case they're hungry. Boiled, of course. Yeah. I don't know. Why? Why do you ask? Is it a problem?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's not a problem per se. It's just watch as she kind of continues like leading you through the forest, just pacing as she thinks. You can see the more she talks about it, the more the feelings start to just, flow into each other, the sentiments. And she says, it's a complicated thing, happiness. Everyone thinks they know what it looks like, what it feels like, but no two are the same. Kind of
Very
like
true.
people.
That's also true.
It's why I love them so much, learning their stories, their hopes, their dreams, but I've always had trouble placing you. What do you want, Odd, for your life, for yourself?
I want to make it big. And by big, I mean I want people to respect Odd. Me, Odd, not I don't know any other odds. Me. Because I think that being a little odd is good. And then it allows those who might feel a little odd to feel like they belong too. So I want to make it big for people. Because I love them also.
It's a noble thing.
Thank you.
I'm sure in time we'll be able to show everybody what we're capable of.
Here, I'm going to hand you a boiled egg. This one's fresh. Not for me. This one I actually got from the market.
You saying that makes me a little bit suspicious, but
I wouldn't lie.
appreciate the gesture. Kind of takes the egg and isn't really sure where to put it, as she's just sort of wearing this like long, like simple gown and just looks down at her watch and, well, I'm gonna head back. A new batch
Alright.
of quests is due any minute now. And I'm sure this time things will be different. I might be able to get you guys something, anything. At least something better than what you've been getting.
As long as we're all together, I think it's the best. But just do your best, and that's all we can ask. Got it? I want to hear it. Yeah.
I'll do my best. Watch as Elizabeth kind of picks herself up and leaves, disappearing into the forest and leaving you in this sort of solitude as the camera pulls up past the canopy and we cut back to the fight. As up next in the order is our very own Prince of Darkness, Artur. You have 5 or 6 rats biting at your heels, and as the forces of darkness refuse to obey your commands, would you like to describe your character?
Yeah. So Artur is this very skinny, maybe 5'7" dude in his early 20s. Like I said, kind of lanky. He's wearing like skinny jeans. He's wearing one of them coats, long sleeve coats with the holes for the thumbs, with fingerless gloves. His eyes bloodshot, bags under them. Skin very pale. Hair shoulder length, not shoulder length, just past the ears, very greasy, and he is wearing a look of just concern and panic, getting chased by these rats, and just exclaiming things like, "You are creatures of the night. You must listen to me. Obey my command, as this is my dark gift."
Watch as they all begin to circle. One of them kind of like starts like nipping at you as we flash back. Once again, this time a deep gray hue bathes the world as the camera pans across city streets, populated with the uniformed masses starting their day, completely unaware of the creature of darkness that hides amongst them, sheltered from the sun's harmful radiance. A prince of the night, an earl of decay that glides on shadow and death. For your consideration, audience, the vampire Artur
we look at a bare bones apartment. Drapes are drawn with a single blade of light shining through onto a very plain looking coffin, and you hear rustling from this coffin. Rustle. It rustles. And all of a sudden, the lid flies open, and Artur sits up. I can't sleep. Looks at some sort of timepiece. Okay. If I sleep now, I should be able to get 5 hours. That's never gonna happen. And so get up from the coffin and just monologuing to myself, I go walk towards the drapes. These mortals, they look so happy, so blissfully unaware of this secret sorrow I bathe in. Then you hear a very loud stomach rumble. I must feed. And he throws on a shawl over his head as he steps out the door, looking up and seeing what the cloud cover's like. Okay, it's not too bad. I can make it. I can make it without having to deal with any extensive sunburns. Oh,
Not at all. As you depart your humble lodging, your castle of fear and death, you are met with the blinding sun covered ever so gently by the clouds. You have to shield your eyes before your terrifying vampiric senses adjust, allowing you to see, to feel, to hear, just like a normal person. Those fools would never know the difference just looking at you, but you are a full-fledged vampire. At least you're pretty sure you are.
I'm pretty sure I am.
People make way, no doubt submitting to your grand power, but there are times, few and far between, that make you second-guess yourself. A family of 4 passes you by, their small child pointing at you and saying in a not-so-subtle whisper, "Mom, is that the weird guy who keeps biting all the alley cats?" He watches they kind of herd their child over, like, don't look at him, just keep walking.
Oh, sweet innocent child. I can't catch any cats.
Continuing down the road, you pass a set of guards on patrol, each wearing the insignia of the Platinum Cross, this city's top guild. They kind of give you like a lazy glance, and as you pass by, they say, "Hey, Dracula! Is it true you sleep upside down? I'm trying to settle a bet."
Wouldn't you like to know, meat? I mean, have a good day, sir. And I hurry off.
They look over to each other, and you know for a fact you're gonna catch a few strays from that one. But this is routine for you by this point. The constant ridicule, people often fear what they do not understand, and not many people understand you. But the real question is, do you want them to? When a person sees you for you, there's nothing for you to hide behind. Being vulnerable is hard, and sometimes it's easier to save yourself the heartbreak. What's going through Artur's head, truly, as they walk down the street?
That thought sort of worms its way into my brain, and there's a point where I get so enamored by this thought of, is it really this curse that is driving people away, or is it just me? Is it my choices that lead to this? Is it really on them to try to have a conversation with me, or is it both ways? What have I done to make a friend? A true friend, not just people that I work with. And so lost in this thought, I am immediately distracted by the fact that I've just stopped in the middle of the street. The shawl is down. And then I'm only snapped out of it because I can feel a ray of sun hit my cheek and just remind me that I'm outside in the daylight. And sorry. And I rush back over to Worst House.
As you come huddling over, we cut back. As up next in the order, we introduce Nana Maisel. You see a herd of rodents attempt to circle your allies, their violent squeaks indicating their desire for blood. And as they prepare to strike, would you like to describe your character?
Yes. What you see is a old, dark-skinned elven grandmother who is standing by the power of her cane alone. She's hunched over, barely crossing maybe 5'3", 5'4". You don't know. She's covered in a long purple shawl that presses around her face and covers her dear body and just kind of drags along the ground that's tattered and of years of just dragging along the ground. Her eyes have like this kind of a piercing orangish red about them, but it's only offset by these adorable two long, deep white strands of hair that seems to like elongate all the way down half of her length. Yes, exactly. And you see, she seems to be rather unbothered by the chaos happening because they're just rats and no one's in danger yet.
Well, we flash back to this morning. The camera meanders slowly along paved roads, trailing gently behind you. You find yourself wandering the streets, lost in the infinite cascade of lives being lived. There are children begging their families to buy them an array of multicolored toys and trinkets that light up and dance in the mid-morning air. One couple argues over whose parents they'll be spending the weekend with, and a newly formed adventuring party makes grand plans for the future. There's a twinge of pain in your chest at that. How different things could have been. You are a relic of days gone by, adrift in a sea of cultural changes that make your head spin, familiar but never the same. What does Nana Maisel think about on their morning walk?
Nana's morning walk is generally always the same. Goes down to the bakery, grabs a loaf of bread, sees if there's any trinkets or baubles for her friends, and might pick up something. But through her head, she's a duck in a pond, generally calm and collected, smiling at the children, giggling at those, and laughing about whose family makes more of a difference when they're not looking at their own. But most of the time, she's just going over the names of the ones she's loved as she can still remember. As many children as she can remember. Many loves as she can remember. People who still need to die that she can remember. Then that list gets shorter every day. But it's still there. And some are more important than others. The three, at least two of them that's always on her mind is Odd and Artur. She remembers them every day. It's another one she must talk to every day to make sure that her day has some bit of a fortune or something. But every day, she tries to remember everyone who's important to her.
Memory is a cruel thing, an odyssey of familiar faces, and no one knows that better than you. You can see her sometimes. The person you used to be, trailing behind you like a ghost, and in your most private moments, you can swear you hear her speaking to you, reminding you of everything you've lost. As we cut back to the last of our party in the order, Omen, you find yourself mid-battle, but the mind is elsewhere. Memories, sentiments bubble up to the surface, and as the camera pushes in towards you, would you like to describe your character?
I'd be happy to. If they were easily describable. Omen intentionally obfuscates their body with a heavy laden cloak of crow feathers, long black priest-like robes that nearly touch the ground over layers and layers and layers and layers, long, thick, dark brown hair that's shaved on the side that curls down and down and down and down and down, almost blending into the feathers at the end, and of course, a silver-plated mask, somewhere between humanoid and bird-like, in the middle place of transformation. This is what they give to the Reaper, a sense of identity, classically. But Omen is, of course, tired of having to be here fighting rats in the basement again. And with a flash, a surprisingly tall, long limb. If Omen actually ever brought themselves to their full height, they'd be at least 6 inches taller than the other tallest person here. And with that, they raise to their full heights. Take a moment before shrieking as loud as they can, "I hate rats!"
And as you shout that, the words reverberating off the interior of the basement, we flash back. Now, the morning for you was unlike any other, because by your own admission, the Great Reaper themselves blessed you with visions that finally proved your merit. Walk us through that morning. What did it look like? How did it feel?
In the morning, there is that thing that Omen craves so desperately and dearly, silence. Silence to let the prophecies come. Silence to let the dreams come. Silence to let the future come trickling back into the past so they can see it, so they can find it, so they can have it. And Omen is a curious kind of person. They relish the silence. And we find them that morning in the loudest silence possible, one that they're familiar with, in a tower full of crows, arched cathedral ceilings like ribs jutting toward the sky, and hundreds of crows cawing, preparing, preparing. They've had it, they've seen it. Something important, something real. And Omen's head twitches as they're reminded of the heaviness of it, the heaviness of prophecy. And they reach their hand up and out, calling to their companion. Always to me. And
You watch as, in this swirling cyclone of black feathers, a single dull gray bird comes very gently careening down towards your room. Not a raven, not a crow, but a pigeon. A sort of rotund pigeon that perches on your hand.
you really have to get better at that landing, okay? Okay. And Omen deposits their familiar on their shoulder, pulls that heavy black cloak around themselves. It's time to talk to grandmother. Are you ready? Me too. And Omen begins trekking up hundreds of stairs towards her.
Truly a insurmountable amount of stairs. As grand and as an architectural masterpiece the home of the Corvus is, they have yet to facilitate escalators or elevators or even really a pulley system. As
Everyone in this place has like calves of a champion.
life has a funny way of making fools of the planners, the schemers. You know this better than anyone, but there are those who know how to bend its many mysteries, its many twisting threads towards one inevitable, predictable outcome. Some call them oracles, others fortune tellers, but when it comes to you, you call them family. And as you run up probably the 50th flight of stairs that you've had to run, that same circle, it all feels like one, but it's so many stairs. You pass by so many portraits that depict your family's history, from your great 15 times over grandmother that predicted the first plague that would ravage an entire landscape, to some of your more recent ancestors who have dedicated their lives to sort of steering the flow of fate, putting kings on thrones, usurping tyrant rulers. The halls are lined on both sides with portraits of suffering, a perpetual lesson of the very nature of fate itself. And while one may unlock its secrets, one can rarely ever avoid its many cruelties. As you sort of rush past, you find yourself before two wrought iron doors. And you know that on the other side of them is someone scarier than anything fate has to offer. Your grandmother, Erebus.
And this time, Omen does pull himself all the way up, 6'3", like a beanpole. Pulls that shaggy cloak of feathers tight. Looks it always just one more time. Always. Always. Focus. The future. And they push open the doors.
The creaking of polished metal punctuates the abject silence. Standing before you is your grandmother, Erebus, grand matriarch of the Corvus, a woman that commands the respect of any room she finds herself in. And as you approach, she is tirelessly scrawling on a long piece of parchment, mumbling vague and troubling predictions to herself. Her two ravens, perched on either side of the room, keep an eye on you and a key eye on the future. She rises to meet you and moves with such grace that it's hard to tell if she walks or glides across the marble flooring. All the same, she's a woman of significant age, more than 200 years old by now, practically made of wrinkles, but maintains a level of elegance that transcends the physical altogether. She has stark white hair that contrasts against this deep vanta black gown that drapes from her form. Pinned to each shoulder, a cloak of pitch black feathers trains behind her as she says, "Why have you come, Omen?"
Grandmother. And Omen bows, and I think the silver-plated mask falls away from their face as they take it, put it over their heart, and we see their face. Surprisingly soft at the corners, a long sloping nose, and eyes as dark as the void between stars all the way around. I've seen it. The future. I have a prophecy. An important one. One that could not wait.
Then speak, child.
Tonight, the moon will be full.
There is a solid 20 seconds of pure silence. The birds outside seemingly grind to a halt. Altogether, their squawks, as you could practically hear a pin drop. As
I know.
Your grandmother taken
I know.
aback. The moon will be full. And
Mhm.
this is a vision delivered unto you by the Reaper themselves, and not one you ascertained by simply looking up into the sky.
What? What?
You watch as 1,000 thoughts wash over them in a second, as her vision kind of hardens, but her eyes remain soft. Omen, I have tried for so long to hold out hope that the Reaper had yet unspoken plans for you, but sooner or later there comes a time when we must accept the hand that fate deals to us. She walks over to her desk and kind of just trails this long, bony finger along the mahogany desk. Our family's gift is synonymous with the city's success, and we cannot afford to stand idly by while your visions lead us astray. One weak link can break the chain. One misplaced stone can cause an avalanche. One inaccurate prophecy can destroy all that we have built for ourselves. Do you understand?
Yes, of course I understand. But grandmother, isn't this a good thing? It's an accurate prophecy. That's huge. And who knows, perhaps it will be very, very important that tonight the moon will be full. Right?
Your siblings have foreseen entire wars, the fall and rise of kingdoms, plagues, monster attacks, disasters. And you come to me with what is essentially a weather forecast. Omen, and you watch as there's a brief second where you think she's gonna say something nice. It's on the tip of her tongue, but she holds back, straightens herself up and says, "Perhaps it is best you return to your guild for the day. I have important work that needs my attention. The Platinum Cross will be receiving its annual quest soon, and the fate of the world may very well be at stake." She turns back to her desk, her back to you, as the two birds still have their eyes trained on you, this sort of deep, almost galaxy-like texture to them, as she just begins to scrawl once more on the paper.
The thing about being raised by prophets is that Omen has never known what it has been like to be unseen. And that vicious seeing means they know when they've been dismissed. They put their mask back on, and slower than they climbed them, they descend all 6,418 stairs to make their way back to Worst House.
And the camera follows you as you meander down those many, many, many stairs. For a brief moment, we cut back to your grandmother's room as she's scrawling on the piece of paper, her hand tense as she stops and looks over her shoulder to the still open door and the clack of your boots going down the stairs. She sits with that for a second, conflicted, but goes back to her work as we cut back to the battle at hand. By this point, you have been fighting these rats for maybe an hour. They just keep coming, and it's actually insane the amount of rats that can fit in one basement. But afterwards, after the fight is concluded, the four of you stand battered and beaten as the tavern keeper scrapes together a meager reward. 3 pints of ale and like 2 silver. Watch as they toss the coins over to you absentmindedly and quickly usher you out the back door. You're now stood on this long dirt path that leads all the way up to the city of Relay. And you are left to your own devices.
I also want to say that during battle, at some point you may have had an egg drop on you, flat from the air, so that's up to you.
Omen is almost certainly picking out bits of shell and yolk from the like gentle silver, like the inlay of their mask, and they kind of are leaning against the back of the bar, looking quite upset about it.
Sorry.
Odd. That was the 6th time in 5 days that this
Who's
has happened.
counting?
Me, I'm counting.
You're
because
really
every
tall.
time. Shouldn't that mean that I should be much farther away from wherever it is that your eggs are coming from?
Well, if we want to get technical with where my eggs come from, that's a different story. But you're right. I'll learn how to swing better.
That is what you've said the last 3 times.
Well, the last 2 times I was very sleepy. And then the other one, I don't remember the other one. I'll
I
fix
do.
it.
Perfect detail.
Yeah, I can tell. Great memory. You eat a lot of eggs, huh? Helps your brain.
I'm a vegetarian.
Powdered eggs. Tofu? Tofu. Can make them. Sorry.
Nana Maisel, can I have your handkerchief, please?
Absolutely, dear. Oh. Oh, she got you good this time. Oh, it's deep in there.
Quit pointing it out.
Oh, she-
Directly on the forehead.
yeah, it's quite a good shot, my dear. Honestly, if you did it on purpose, I'd rather be impressed. Honestly, maybe you should fight more blind.
I'm so
Oh.
confused right now.
If it was an arrow, oh, this would be a completely different day for Omen.
Ah, Nana Maisel.
Yes?
Nothing.
Hmm.
That was so painful.
Which part? Are you okay?
All of it. Am I okay?
Yes.
You're covered in rat bites.
These creatures of the night, my abilities, they evade me. They do not listen. The transformation is not complete yet. And yes, the humiliation of it was the worst part.
Can you remind us again how long this transformation has been occurring?
Well, I remember being turned just after my 22nd birthday. And it's about to be my 22nd birthday again. For the first time. I know I should look much older. But this immortal burden traps me.
Gentle caress. By this point, you all stand sort of outside the tavern. It's roughly about midday as you've been fighting these rats since morning after being given the quest by your handler, for lack of a better term, Elizabeth. You are slated to return back and debrief and take up any new quests that might be purchased soon. But ultimately, it is up to your group where you decide to go from here.
Omen has been extra. Oh, please go ahead.
You go ahead.
Extra.
I'm gonna pick you up and throw you. Omen has been extra grouchy today. And I think as they finally use Nana Maisel's handkerchief to get the last of the yolk out of the mask, they hold it up into the sky almost, and like the circular features of it almost like comes in and eclipses the sun for a moment. They pause. Look at it. You know, I think that was the fastest we've ever cleared a basement of rats.
It was under 2 hours this time, so yes.
The bar didn't explode. None of us are dead anymore. Maybe that's what it means.
The moon's gonna
Full
kill
circle. Nana Maisel, I said it's not. That's not exactly the. Well, maybe the moon might kill us, but maybe also.
Well,
Maybe also this is a full circle moment. Maybe it's time that we move on from rats in the basement. We can take on a bigger quest, a fuller quest, a fuller moon quest.
yes, we can start fighting cats in a basement. Those are just as big, and they have big
Ooh,
evil
they
claws.
scratch a lot. It hurts.
Ooh.
They elude me.
They're fast.
I believe that is the next step up. We start rescuing cats. I hear a few get caught in trees, and well, Omen, you're rather tall, and Odd, you are one with some form of nature. I think cats are just right up our alley.
Hear me out, Nana Maisel.
Hmm.
I'm thinking bigger than cats.
Dogs.
Odd. Thinking the solar system, the moon and the stars and the sun. Sorry, Art.
None taken. Please continue.
It's a guiding star, this wholeness. The wholeness of our group. The wholeness of the prophecy. We need a new quest.
Yeah. I'm ready to go.
Well, if you believe we're ready, I believe in you, Omen.
Thank you, Nana. Might be the only person who does.
Please, can we
I
just
also
go
believe in you,
inside?
Elman.
And maybe one day we can fight the sun for Arthur.
I'd fight the sun.
Would you
for
like that? If we destroyed the sun for you?
It would be very convenient, but you don't have to do anything for me, Nana.
Oh no, my boy. Oh, by the way, and Nana reaches into a basket you see her carrying that she was able to grab. I found this potion. It's topical, so you put it on your skin. Apparently, it protects those from the evil rays of the sun. You put it on your face every couple of hours, and it'll keep you protected.
And I'll almost snatch it, a little bit more polite than a snatch, and then start smearing it all over all over my face. It's very like, like the amount is applied to the nose, but all over the face.
Yep.
The lifeguard nose, but like all over the face.
Only helping the vampirism.
Yeah.
This pale figure, just caked in sunscreen.
And I after applying it, I slowly remove the hood. It does not burn. You have my gratitude, my deepest, sincere appreciation. And I get down on one knee. Nana Maisel, can we please go inside?
Absolutely. Just do me a favor. Don't kneel. People might get the wrong idea of what I'm here. Rise, young Arthur.
It's by this point that you guys have essentially been meandering outside of the tavern, and you hear from indoors the same person who hired you, mind you, say, "Are you guys still here? Leave!"
Another job.
Fine. Why do they always push us out the back?
I
Here's
believe
we're
that's
supposed
called, I believe that's called shame.
They throw their hood up.
Your party returns to the city of Relay, this huge tiered capital, the jewel of the entire continent. This is a city known for its many guild halls, its heroes, and its social hierarchy. There are many, many guilds within the city. Yours is at the absolute lowest tier. Despite your many successes, the true brunt of your work has not garnered recognition, at least not to the degree that you feel as if you deserve. But as we watch your party walk past the huge iron gates into the city proper, we hang a left and the camera follows as we are given our first view of Worst House. Now, Worst House is synonymous with the chaos that lives within. What might have been a once beautiful manor was repurposed to house the absolute strangest that the city of Relay has to offer. Between warlocks that act as each other's patrons, anarchy bards rebelling against a regime that doesn't exist, and what can only be described as a smut cleric, it's a wonder how anything gets done. And as you sort of push past the crowds over to the familiar sight of home, you see a small orange cat named Fish, your guildmaster. And, to the untrained observer, they may think it's just a regular cat, but everybody knows that Fish is actually a powerful druid. So powerful, in fact, that nobody has ever seen them transform into a humanoid form. Watch as they kind of look up at you and meow.
Hello, Sir Fish. Having a
Guildmaster.
lovely day. Nana will give it a few little scritches on the head. Good kitty. We've killed all the rats. Yes, in only minor damage. There was egg in Omen's face, given by Odd. And Artur was bitten all over his very lovely body. But alas, we have finished the quest. They shooed us out in a bit of shame, and we have returned Sir Fish.
There's like 2 minutes of just cat stare before they kind of lick their paw and walk away.
So do you think that's a yes?
I think that's something good.
They must be too busy.
It's
Something
hard to
important.
run a business. Yes, very busy. Where's the
should-
hot one? Maybe she can help us.
Oh,
Elizabeth, yes, we should confirm the quest.
Yes. Elizabeth! This man starts hollering for this person.
As you start screaming, you kind of push past the huge oak doors held together by sheets of metal and rusted hinges, and you catch the tail end of an argument between Elizabeth and the Postal Guild. You can see she's sort of frustrated. She's kind of tense as she's just walking back and forth as this kind of meager and meek and almost nerdy figure with huge spectacles and kind of like a contemporary postman's outfit is just kind of sitting watching her move back and forth. There's little emotion on their face, but Elizabeth shouts, "What do you mean we don't qualify for higher rank quests?" As he responds, "Exactly what I mean, ma'am. While your guild's quest completion record is marginally better than most guilds in higher brackets, the total amassed returns for the quests is noticeably below average." She is kind of stops and still paying the four of you no mind and says, "It's because you keep giving us beginner quests. I mean, look at this. Find my cat," kind of pulls out like all of these sheets of paper and throws them on the ground. "Babysit my kid. Help me move furniture. Rat extermination. Rat extermination. Rat extermination. We're heroes, Brimsley, not glorified exterminators." You see, there's just an air of silence. There's that sort of deep guttural undertone to her voice, almost on the cusp of shifting back into their more draconic form. And he says, "Well, according to public rankings, you're barely even that. But if you don't want the quests I have available, I'm sure there are other guilds who will happily take them. Sort of a mic drop, as she says, I'll take them. I don't understand. How are we supposed to move up in the ranks if you keep giving us their leftovers? Finally, he responds. Simply put, you don't. Your guild is something the council likes to call rat catchers. You provide an essential service, yes, but that's all you'll ever be. These quests aren't meant for you, as they kind of motion over to their bag of holding. You can see there's this small glimmer of light. They themselves, barely paying the four of you any attention, kind of eyes keenly trained on Elizabeth. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner we can all get on with our lives. As this point is kind of when your group pushed past and are now in the guild hall proper. Elizabeth seems to have resigned themselves and is looking over the extermination quests, whereas the postal guild member seems to just be checking their watch, wishing to be anywhere but here. What would you guys like to do?
Elizabeth, we finished killing rats.
Watch just kind of straightens up. That's great. That's great. Did you bring the reward in? How much was it? Did you get paid?
Oh, absolutely. Nana will walk over, completely ignoring the postal guy, and just says, here I believe is the payment, a cup of silver, and she pulls out of her basket her pint of ale she did not drink. In that.
That's it.
Yes, about 15 rats, a little silver, some ale. A thank you. We have a thank you this time, which is more than we got last time. No collateral damage as well. Minor collateral damage, but nothing got burned down.
That's lovely, Maisel. Okay. Well, our next group of quests are in. You can leave, as she looks over to the postal guild worker. Thank you so much for using the postal guild service. He kind of starts rattling off this, clearly pre-written speech. Just, we hope to see you again. Happy questing, as they walk off, kind of pushing past the rest of you who are sort of stood in this area, as by this point, Elizabeth has just sat down, defeated.
They have an ugly personality.
Would you like us to maim them?
No, don't name them.
I can
That's
egg
how...
them.
There's a brief second where she considers it. She just ultimately, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Well, Lady Elizabeth, we were talking, and Almond had a great idea, a premonition, if you will. I believe a prophecy. Yeah, smart one that one is. We believe we are ready for elevated quest to be real heroes.
There's maybe 20 seconds where she just processes, mulls that over. I'm inclined to agree. But this is all I've got. As she kind of spreads the papers out along the guild table, and it's rat extermination, find my cat.
Nana grabs the find my cat. Cat!
Nana, we said about the cat.
Oh. Well, the cat needs to be... Do you mind if I just hold on to this one really quick?
We can side quest it.
Yeah, I would. I'm just gonna...
There's nothing else?
No, man, there's nothing else. I don't know how much of that you heard, but...
All of it?
Okay, good to know. They are essentially stonewalling us. We cannot rise up the ranks because the quests we have do not produce enough of a reward to rank us up. We can't rank up because the rewards for the quests they're giving us do not pay enough to do that. It's all one one big joke.
That's awful. That's simply awful. That was the postman that just left us? Yeah.
Yep.
But Elizabeth, the moon is going to be full tonight. And
What does-
Omen just kind of really looks like projects as though that's going to mean something to Elizabeth.
What is that? What does that mean?
Danger.
Endless possibility, full circles. The Reaper is quite choosy with the meaning of prophecies, but I've seen the full moon tonight, and that has to mean something. So if our quest isn't here, then we will have to find the glimmer in the rest of the phases.
It's possible. I don't know. This is the best I have to offer. I'm sorry I couldn't be a better handler. I tried. I really did.
Well, that is unacceptable, Elizabeth. You are far too capable and beautiful to be stonewalled by some inefficient jackasses with paperwork. So, and Nana Maisel just turns to the three of you and goes, I believe what we need to do next is probably best not put in front of someone who's legally bound to follow the rules.
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
yes.
Have
I
a
will-
good day, Elizabeth. Nana just starts walking out of the room.
You watch this. What are you about to do? Wait, hold on. What do you mean legally bound to? As you all start leaving.
I'll turn around and go and just go. It's best if you go about your day, Elizabeth. Is that clear? Is that clear?
I mean, I assume that there'd be more to it, but okay, sure. I will do what I was.
Farewell.
Okay. Let's just
Good day.
And I'll turn around. I'll turn around and follow the rest of.
The concern turns to confusion as they just.
Shh.
All right. Just stay safe, please. Don't make any bad decisions.
Outside, Omen is starting to make some bad decisions. Omen has taken Always from their shoulder, who remains kind of nested in this pile of feathers and hair on the back of Omen's shoulder whenever they're in Worst House, because Fish the cat it always looks at Always in this particular kind of way that's always put Omen at edge just a little bit. And as a Pact of the Chain warlock, Omen can send Always up into the sky, and he kind of flies, and then starts to kind of like wobble above the streets. And Omen's eyes blink a few times, and then they become the eyes of a pigeon behind that silver mask. I can telepathically communicate with and see through my familiar's eyes at any distance. I get eyes on that postal worker who just left.
All right. You do so with very little issue. While your visions are not quite up to snuff, your, eldritch powers are more than capable. You watch as the bird flies up into the sky, the sound of flapping pigeon wings echoing into the streets, as eventually you find yourself coasting overhead, and you see that familiar postman uniform. You see the large satchel bag, what I can only really describe as mailman hat, and the short shorts, as they're just kind of walking along, talking to various people on the streets, doling out quests to a handful of other guilds here and there, but ultimately they are all more or less the same as far as you can tell. It's rat exterminations, find my pets, stuff like that. But you do have a full view of where they are. They're kind of walking down one of the nearby streets.
Keep tailing them always. And as that's happening, Omen, I think, has to put a hand kind of just out. And at this point, the other members of Worst House might know what's going on. So they just kind of find somebody's shoulder. All right, we need a real quest. And I think I know how we might get one.
Nana kind of like slithers underneath Omen's hand, so you rest your shoulder upon them, because given that they're not very fast, and they would just start walking. Well, how far away are they, dear?
They're turning down the street, just a ways down.
You start traveling, pushing past crowds of people, all of which are kind of preparing for the day, because today, as some of you may know, is the day that the Platinum Cross gets their annual quest. You would all know this, being guild members, that the Platinum Cross rarely ever takes on proper quests. Rather than taking on a handful of them and paying up all their debts, there is one large quest funded by the entirety of the city, the crown, that puts them up against truly insurmountable odds. It's been demon kings, vampire lords, fallen and risen gods. The breadth of which you're attempting to undertake would be tantamount to that, and that's a thought that might cross your mind as you continue to follow along. You watch as he turns down one of the nearby alleyways, taking a shortcut to what you remember to be one of the, grander guilds, still on the same level, the same district, but just happens to be nicer than yours. But as they've kind of gone to this intersection, they are completely alone. What do you do?
Omen is walking. They've been talking to the rest of the members of Worst House, going, in my vision, I couldn't help but notice how beautiful and full the moon was. Silver. Platinum. Even. And when I had a very important and noteworthy conversation with the leader of the Corvus this morning, my grandmother mentioned that, well, they were going to receive Platinum Order's quest today. Perhaps I could do my grandmother a favor and pick up the quest for her.
So you're positing that we move from rat extermination all the way up to saving the world in one day?
It's our destiny, Artie. I saw it in a vision.
Maybe we work up to that. Maybe there's something just one, maybe two levels above rat extermination. Maybe we go for that and work up to world saving.
Well, if we do only 1 to 2 levels, Worst House will maybe get more cat out of a tree jobs, since it wouldn't offset the amount of money they're essentially losing. But if we do one higher level job, Worst House would move up at least 2 levels. In your notorieties, the 3 of you would definitely be written about by the bards. And the only difference between the 4 of us and the Platinum Bastards is capitalism.
People are more inclined to help famous people.
And you could buy more sunscreen?
Maybe I can commission a cure for this hungry curse.
Wizards
You-
love money.
You would certainly be able to fund any necessity.
And you'd be able to sell your eggs legally, finally. Or whatever you do in your day-to-day.
I don't think it's illegal.
It
Is
should
it?
be.
Why? He gets his money.
I wish it didn't.
As for
Omen, are you
myself,
okay? You
I
seem
choose
like
to
you're
believe
going
it's
through it
canon
right
that like
now.
a solid 40% of the revenue from Worst House comes from Odd selling eggs.
look,
Yo,
you just
egg
want the
donation is
eggs,
very real, and political system is trying to take it away from us. So
just don't ask where the eggs come from. It's fine. It's fine.
I want everybody to hold my eggs.
Oh my god.
I need that as a T-shirt. I need everybody. To
This is
use
the
my
only
egg.
piece of merch we release from this show. I need somebody to hold my eggs.
No, there's two. There's one that's no, there's three. One that says wear sunblock. The other says I saw prophecy. And then yes, everyone's gonna hold my eggs. What would Nana be? Nana, I don't know. Nana,
The
what would you
moon's
be?
gonna kill you.
There you go.
It's gonna kill you.
The moon's gonna kill you.
Fight the
anyway.
moon.
Honestly, I don't see a way not to go to that young poster worker over there. Jump him in a fashion befitting us in obtaining the quest.
Yolks are real slippery.
I fear that if we alight on this Brimsley, that I might not be able to hold myself back from feasting on his flesh. Maybe
We can hold
we
you back
try,
from the edge.
maybe we try a softer method.
I can
Maybe
cook
we
you some
maybe,
food real quick. If
maybe
you're
we
that
ask.
hungry.
I appreciate the gesture. I don't think I could digest your food. Or anyone's food, really. This vampiric germ requires a cursed diet.
Cursed diet. I can try to ask somebody how to do that, and I can make it for you. A cursed diet?
Yes,
Huh.
it's abominable. But we can handle that later. I'll be fine. Maybe
That's what she's
we
thinking about now.
don't have to attack this postal worker. Maybe we can convince him or something else.
Oh, talking. I have heard that helps sometimes.
Odd.
Yes.
You are a druid.
Yes.
I hate to ask.
Are you
Could-
asking me to shift?
Not yet. Odd.
But later.
Could you turn yourself into a crow?
Oh, I don't know. I can try.
I might be able to convince Postmaster Brimsley that I'm picking up the quest at the behest of my grandmother. If things go bad, can I just accidentally trip him as many times as it takes?
If I'm a crow, I could blind him with my beak. Like what you're
That's-
thinking.
Remarkably dark.
Well, yeah, it will.
Because he won't be able to
'cause-
see.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I'm saying, Anna. Then you can get away if you need to. Safety method.
But if you turn into a chicken again,
I won't.
It
Are
is
you
by this
sure?
point that
No.
do you still have eyes? Are you still looking through Always' eyes?
I think like every few minutes they'll peek back in.
It's your rearview mirror.
Yeah. Just looking back. By this point, as you've been arguing out here in the middle of the street, as you blink back into Always' eyes, you've lost track of him.
Always. Always. Where is he? What do you mean, Coo? What do you mean you don't know?
Watches kind of like starts flapping down and like
You-
starts looking.
You lost.
I didn't lose him.
You watch as the bird starts careening down into the street. You think he's onto something, but stops and starts pecking at some loose bread on the sidewalk.
Always. I knew that the first pigeon I grabbed shouldn't have been the. Whatever.
Okay, well, we know where Brimsley, where this postal worker is headed. Maybe we just intercept him.
I'll
Intercept.
turn into a crow.
Okay.
All right. And-
Hopefully.
Remind me again the nature of your transformations. As pre-established in your backstory, you have very little options here.
Yeah, I know. It's like I feel like it's a nat 20 situation only.
Well,
I
tell me
believe-
how this goes.
I believe-
guess. I throw the DM hat over to you, however you wish to undertake this.
I think I would need to roll first. Just a flat d20, just to see if I get that 20. She said with hope. Oh, it's not. I got an 11. So the thing about Odd, aside from the fact that she has the chance to turn into a chicken, which is not due to her own wants or desires, she doesn't want to turn into a chicken, as fun as it is at times, and as helpful as it is to whomever she's with who's hungry. However, the other half is not a chance to turn into a crow, a chance to turn into a wolf. But she's gonna think and just sit there and just gonna be a crow. You just a big crow, little crow, doesn't matter. I'm gonna be one. And I need to roll to see. I'm gonna flip a coin.
All right.
50-50 chance.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's bad odds. In
No, I'm
tabletop
good
game?
odd. That's rude.
Oh God.
Okay.
That's like, damn it.
So, heads, it's a chicken. Tails, she's a wolf.
All right.
Using Google for this because I don't have a coin in front of me. And as she's sitting there thinking, you start to see this very small frame almost begin to morph in a very uncomfortable sense of it. Think of monsters in films as they're just like
Mm.
becoming what they are, as beginning to hunch over and touch the ground, her hands as they turn into little paws, and then her feet as they kind of almost break a bit in that sense before smoothing out into proper legs with paws at the end of them as well. Beautiful, cute, fluffy tail, but it's got brown bits all at the tips of their fur just to encapsulate that little bit of Odd's neutral tone of choice for all of her clothing. And I think I'm a crow, she says as a wolf.
Man. At least it's adorable.
Oh.
Okay. Plan B then. Artur,
Yeah.
do you think your dark gift might come in handy in this moment? Powers of persuasion, perhaps?
Yes. I will put my powers to good use. I will try. I must hold back the thirst. I will get us this quest.
It is our destiny.
Destiny. Indeed. And I'll start
Alright.
walking in some direction. I don't know where I'm going.
You have the vague idea, or at least the last place you had seen Brimsley. So roll me a perception check if you could, or investigation, depending on whichever one is higher.
Could I use
They're
my
both-
dog nose sniffing skills? Try to sniff
Actually,
out the
yes,
person?
you could.
Ooh.
I would say roll with advantage because you would have at least gotten a general idea of Brimsley, having seen him a handful of times before.
What would you have me roll for that?
This would be perception with advantage. It's
Oh.
keen senses.
Nice. Rolled pretty well. I rolled a 16.
Oh, very nice.
It was advantage because I was in that one.
What-
The
what-
other one though, 21.
All right.
But
Between
that
the
kind
two of you.
Life.
Yeah, between the two of you, you find yourselves moving along alleyways, following a keen sense, at least on your part, Odd.
No, it's just tracking the ground like a metal detector hovering over sand.
Bloodhound style, just crawling along. You eventually find yourself in front of one of the more notable guild halls. You could see there are a handful of people on all sides, kind of surrounding, walking past, a handful of people that are, mulling about, deciding whether or not to go in to hire out another adventuring party. But by this point, you watch as Brimsley kind of walks out the door, satchel in hand, as kind of gives a cursory wave over to their guildmaster and starts walking down the street. They are maybe 10, 15 feet ahead of you right now.
She's gonna point like a pointer dog. Just stiff.
Okay. Okay, great. Perfect. So confront this postal worker and then what? I'm looking at Odd, and then what?
Odd's not going to respond. She's pointing. She is
Okay.
stiff.
I know Brimsley is over there. How are we going to get the quest?
She's
Oh,
gonna
okay, so-
growl.
I'm walking. Okay, so Omen is part of the horny that family that does the predictions, we need to retrieve the quest for it's
A few feet away, I feel like Nana Maisel and Omen are like kind of huddled together watching. Okay,
Just
what's
walking behind
Yeah.
the corner, like stacked.
what's taking them so long?
Okay,
Why are they
okay.
mumbling? They're always monologuing.
Man, we have a dog and a vampire trying to track down a postal worker. If I had to guess, I believe they're probably coming up with a airtight, very good, not failable plan.
Cut over to the absolutely failable plan.
Okay.
Is thinking
Okay,
in her head, vampires and dogs, great sense of smell. There's no way we can fail this.
Yeah,
But you just
okay.
hear.
Just a smug look on the dog's face.
Perfect. Thank you, Odd. Okay. And then I'll run up to the hello, excuse me.
Do you watch it? Oh, I need to say. Kappa, you can't just drop that voice. No prior warning. But okay. As you yell out, you see as Brimsley kind of turns over. Yeah?
Hello. I am a representative of the Cornuts Guild. Cornuts family. I understand that you are to deliver the quest to them to present to the Platinum Cross. Yes.
Do you want to try the name one more time? The name of the family I'm delivering it for?
What do you
What
think
was
I
it
said?
again? I think you said corn nuts.
No, that's not right. No.
And what did you say? 'Cause I'm fairly certain it wasn't right.
Look, a dog. And I'll point over it.
Huh?
And
like-
I will reach into the bag
She
and
like
grab whatever I
cycles
can.
up and points back at the guy, just like staring.
First, roll me a persuasion or deception, I guess. Just to kind of get him to look over, and then after that, I'm gonna need a sleight of hand.
Okay.
Unless you're just grabbing the full, the full satchel.
No, I'm not. I'm reaching in there and grabbing what I can. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Hold on. You said persuasion or deception. This is a straight roll. 19.
19. Okay. Sequence of events. Roll me sleight of hand now.
Sleight of hand.
Also, I love that your accent turned into Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I was getting.
I'm the mother flipping. Right.
I was doing the shadows.
Okay. Sleight of hand. I'm really good at this one, actually. Okay. 19 again for 23 total.
Okay. So
We're
here's how this
gaming.
plays out. You shout, "Look over there, a dog!" as Brimsley, for the briefest of seconds, just to placate you, but it's enough of an opportunity where you reach in and grab just a handful of flyers and just book it as they turn back. Hey! As they are now chasing after you.
Can I try
what do you
to
do?
block them by chasing my tail?
Sure? How do you mean block them by chasing your tail?
Well,
just,
you
like,
know,
get in
while
their
they're
way?
running, yeah, I'll just get in their way. Or I can trip them if that's the case. That's up to them if they run into me.
That's a fair point.
I'm
We'll
not
see if they
bullying
can-
them.
We'll see
This
if they can
time.
manage to avoid it. Fate is on your side. I rolled a 4. As they run barreling towards you, mind you, for a kind of a scrawny-looking individual, Brimsley is fast, as they are mere inches away from grabbing the back of your collar. But luckily, Odd swoops in and they trip, falling onto the sidewalk, leaving you with an opportunity to escape. Where do you go? What do you do?
It's all instinct at this point. The blood is pumping. I don't meet up with Nana Maisel and Omen. I run past the alley. I don't even remember where that alley was. I just know where my apartment is.
Okay. So you just run home?
Yeah, I run home.
You got, mind you, the alleyway you were supposed to turn down is on the way to your house. So as you begin sprinting headlong, single location in mind, Nana Maisel and Omen, you know, kind of proud, like, wow, Artie managed to get the, where's he going? Watch as he runs past.
And then, of course, Odd and the postal service worker are like tangled up. So I think there's a
I'm
brief
stealing a
moment
shoe
where-
off of his foot.
Nice.
Steal his shoe.
And now
Nice.
I'm running back with it in my mouth to y'all.
Omen looks to Nana Maisel like, okay, who's gonna go after who? Like, where are you gonna go? Where am I gonna go?
You should probably go after young Arthur. I'll make sure our puppy gets home safely.
You're the best, Nana. And Omen starts sprinting after the other there are two dark blobs, two dark goth blobs now sprinting down the
Gothic
street.
silhouettes running down like a metropolitan
Vampire
highway.
children just rock you down the sunny day of Santa Monica Beach.
Yeah.
I will say by this point, Artie, do you still maintain the like shawl, the cover? Or
No,
you
it's
just...
the
you have sunscreen actually.
Yeah, I do have the
Yeah.
sunscreen on. Yeah, that's yeah.
It's coming
I'm-
off in blobs as you're just sweating,
all
running
the
down
sweat.
the
Yeah,
street.
it's running down. Like I wipe the top of my forehead. I don't even notice that there's a huge smear of it. As I run through, I'm running through crowds. I realize my apartment is back there. I gotta go. I'm circling a block. I'm going through people. I'm like checking behind me. Something's chasing me.
You see like the shadow of death like 20 feet behind you
Yeah.
as you run.
A 6'3" tall specter is after me. What conjured demon did Brimsley set upon me?
Something swoops at you from the side,
Yeah.
just this gray blob. Terrifying.
It's the most terrifying moment of your entire life.
No, yeah, this is the worst. This is ever like in a whole year. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
You- with all that in mind, you do manage to make it home okay as we cut back to Nana Maisel and Odd, as you are currently, like, dragging Brimsley on the sidewalk, trying to get the shoe off of him, as Nana Maisel, you approach.
Yes, Nana's actually approaching completely calmly, walking, letting her cane click against the stone as she walks over. And she just kind of stands over this poor postal worker. And she will say, "Halt!" and cast command to make him stop.
Okay, as I remember that is a wisdom saving throw.
It is a wisdom saving throw.
What is your DC?
13.
It's one below. As he ceases, just frozen in place.
And I get his
Nana-
shoe off.
Yeah, you get a shoe.
Nana will kneel down, untie his shoe for you, and just kind of give you a head. Now go find the others.
The shoe and mouth. What does the shoe look like? Is it a boot? Is it like
It's
what
like
is this?
it's like one of those comfortable like hiking boots.
She's gonna like put it on the ground so that she can try to grip her jaw around it a couple times. You know how they like let go just to get that proper grip? That's what she does. Where she gets it and just prances off.
Just, my shoe.
Once Odd is away, Nana turns towards the postal worker and she kneels down, slowly gets to her knees, and stands right above him and goes, "If I was a smart person, I would forget what just occurred. Faces, events, puppies."
Make an intimidation check.
Yep.
Yes, Nana.
My Nana.
24.
24?
19 on the die plus 5.
Gosh, could get that. Kelly would be proud.
3 to resist. As you say this, Brimsley is just shaking. Just I don't even know what happened. Honestly, I can I go home? I want to go home.
Nana will reach down and tap his cheeks really quick. "Good lad. Have a good day." And she'll like wobble as she like forces herself back up to her feet. And then just, "Have a good day. And by the way, the wound's gonna kill you today. Have a good day. Bye."
Wait, what? As we cut over to his apartment. By this point, you've situated. You're kind of like
I slam the door.
you slam the door on Omen.
I don't know it's Omen.
Yeah, no, you know that as you're running up, Omen, you're trailing behind. Bam! Door shuts.
Omen's like sweating. Archer, did we have to go around the block a second time?
You hear
They
it muffled
knock.
from the other side.
I'll go up to the door. I hear this knock. And I'll knock back. Knock, knock.
Omen hears the knock coming from the inside of the door. Archer?
Omen.
Do you need to be invited into your own apartment?
No, I was worried that the demon that the postal worker summoned is chasing you. Is everything
Wait.
okay out there?
The postal worker summoned a demon? I didn't know
It chased
that.
me for 2 blocks and around 1.
Terrifying. You truly are a master of the dark arts. I didn't even know. How careless I was.
Here, come inside, and I'll open the door.
I want to say, as you open the door, you hear the pitter paws of the demon.
Here it comes.
Coming faster and faster and faster.
You slam the door.
As you pull Omen in, you slam the door, and as on you come up, boot in mouth, just.
She's just gonna sit there, like just sit back real pretty, drop the boot, and just look around, wait for Nana.
It's like a
While like
solid-
slowly like scratching at the door, but it might seem like a demon. The nails, you hear the nails, and then it'll pause for a while in between.
Uh, I'll. Omen, there's a bag of salt, so just make a line at the door as I go investigate the rest of the what I was able to what I was able to grab. I'm sorry I wasn't able to verify if it was the quest we were looking for. The hunger started to get to me.
The fates will guide us in the right way. The Reaper is with us. And Omen looks around for some salt, and I think notices the like streaky sunscreen. Oh, the sun. It has burned away some of your flesh.
I'll be fine. I just need to rest till sundown. And I look over at my coffin, but not yet, as I peruse through all the papers that I was able to lift.
So, as Omen, you find some table salt and sprinkle it at the doorway. I will say, for the sake of brevity, after about 20 minutes or so, Nana Maze will also arise. But in that time, Artie, you look through the papers you managed to grab from Brimsley. And while at first seems to be just a mess of admittedly better quests than what you had gotten, but not the degree of success you had originally intended.
All those quests are going to go to Elizabeth. Anything that we don't accept, they're going to go to Elizabeth.
It's very like Spirited Away, like No Face with all the tiles, but
Yeah.
as you go through each one, there's, find my missing child, investigate sheep disappearances. There's, rat exterminations. There's,
Like die
pick
a
up-
rat.
pick- pick 10 apples from my orchard because I don't want to do it. Until finally you get to the last quest in the bunch. It's this beautiful piece of parchment, almost pressed fine, pressed new. There's a bit of a crinkle to it as you hold it in your hand. There's almost a weight as the emblazoned wax crest of the Platinum Cross looks back at you. It's currently sealed.
My hands are slightly shaking. I will. Omen. I think we have it. I'll wait for Nana and Odd to get here, but this is not. I'll hand it to you. This is not the seal of the cross, is it? Is it not?
It's so hard to tell with Omen what their expression is when they wear that silver mask. But just based on vibes alone, you feel like they're glowing. Like whatever's going on underneath, the kind of like dark eyes under there are sparkling big. And their fingers almost like tighten around the edges of the paper as I think the familiar like step, step, cane of Nana Maisel coming up the stairs. Nana Maisel must have taken care of the demon too.
Do you hear the
He
scratch
is
again?
Brilliant. Oh,
Knock on the
Nana,
door.
beware the demon.
What?
She can't hear. And they go over and they open the door.
Open. Beware the demon.
Beware the demon. I will say, as you put the salt line at the door, swinging it open has actually broken it.
It's great.
Scatter salt across the interior of your house to say this and close the door again. But you do see Odd and Maisel. The door shuts.
How big is Odd, by the way? Is it like a full-size wolf, or is it a mini?
Yeah, it's like in between a puppy and getting into teenagehood.
If you don't
Wow.
mind,
She's just so
Nana's
small.
gonna down and pick you up, kind of hold you.
She kind of like melts in your arms, just like a little soft
Mm.
puppy.
Nana's gonna
Tired.
walk over and just find a chair as she get again. Just okay. Well, it just starts petting Odd. So, was everything successful? I didn't find a demon, but I think the postal worker forgot what happened.
That is fortunate. I'm worried that I might have frightened that postal worker to death.
Oh, they're not dead.
Good, good. And I imagine we're all sitting around the coffin, like it's a coffee table.
Absolutely.
And
Otter left that boot on that coffin
nice.
before getting picked up.
Spoils of war.
And I will present to everyone the pile of papers. Like, these can go to Elizabeth, but, and I'll motion over to Omen. I think we got it.
And Omen puts the paper down on top of all the others. Shall we break the seal?
I'll use the bathroom later, but for now, I should open the parchment.
All right, Nana. Owen reaches forward and breaks the seal.
The room is tense as you reach down towards this, what seems like such a simple piece of parchment, but holds infinite possibility for you and your party. As you reach down and snap the wax, you watch as it unfurls itself, and you can see written in this beautiful golden ink are the words, "To the members of the Platinum Cross, once more we must call upon your expertise, for our most dire hour is close at hand." And you can see now, as you read through the words, they almost seem to lift off the page and create a facsimile, a vision for each of you to experience. You're thrown far from the city to what looks like a grand and sinister temple. You can see bones laid along the ground. And as you rise along the staircase leading to its peak, there sits a figure, a gaunt-looking man wearing golden armor with a glaive in one hand. You can see one of the eyes glows this deep crimson color as they just survey their kingdom of rot. The quest continues. Samadhi, the ancient whispering god, has once again risen from their slumber. If reports are to be believed, their plans for the world could spell untold devastation on a nigh biblical scale. Should you choose to accept this quest, report to the castle immediately and present this quest form for entry. If completed, the crown will be forever in your debt. Help us, adventurers. You are our only hope. Signed, Sovereign Krieg. As the vision ends, and you get that last bit, you see the four of you standing against this figure as that sort of ink crumbles away, leaving you with just the quest form.
Without hesitation, Omen has taken a feather off of their shawl, dipped it in whatever substance is closest. If it's like spilled ink or a spattering of blood from the coffin,
Yeah.
they dip it in and they sign.
You watch as the ink burns into the parchment, becoming completely permanent. A binding, magical contract. What do the rest of you do?
That was
Drool.
cool. You go.
I'm drilling on Nana Maisel's arm.
It's rare for you guys to see Nana show any other emotion than full support. But as she looks down at Odd, still petting Odd, and goes, "Well, into the deep end, I see."
I think. Ooh, that was actually really, really cool. I've always wanted to do this, and I will prick my finger and use it to sign the contract.
Omen nods with like, yeah, nice.
Metal. So.
Oh yeah, we all have to sign it. I forgot. Nana will just crawl, walks over, and then just kind of bites her finger. Starts signing it.
Everybody's just signing this thing in blood.
Whoa.
Lastly,
It's in
Odd.
with your movement. It definitely woke Odd up just and with that just some drool splatters on to the paper.
It counts.
She has signed. It is her DNA.
And as each of you sign the quest, a magical contract binding in the elements therein, the full weight of your undertaking hits you like a truck. This might not have been the best idea. As we cut over to the Platinum Cross, you see as their true members, mind you, despite their vast numbers, a vast majority of the people in their guild are hired militia. The true members sit at 5. Their leader, a man named Saga, this human with grayed hair and platinum armor, sort of paladin getup, surrounded on all sides by the others, looking down at Brinsley, who is scouring through their bag. I don't know what happened. I can go back. I can maybe I could get another quest for you. As Saga holds up a finger, says, "Do you have any idea what this means for our city? We have to find that quest." As we cut. And in this moment of darkness, the camera pulls back from the city, traveling along the streets, past the gate, up along the mountaintops, and finally down deep into the earth, where we hear the rattling of chains and a laugh that rings out in the darkness. And that's where we'll end today's session. Thank you guys so much for watching the first episode of The Worst Heroes You Know. I had a lot of fun. You can catch us whenever the next episode posts. It'll probably be in the description or in the chat or what have you. But yeah, I have been HamaSamaKun, your DM for this evening. Yeah, we did it. We got our first episode.
That was
done,
great.
guys.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna
Well
throw it
done.
off to Sam this time. Take it away. Where can I find ya?
Anywhere. Just kidding. You can find me on Twitch.tv/CMSEUM, usually in the mornings getting ready for work. But I also can be found on all social medias at just Sam, JUSTSEUM, or producing and playing in actual plays and D&D productions over on Twitch.tv/Wounded Warrior Project on Tuesdays. Pronouns she, her, and this is very fun.
Yeah.
Next.
Moving on to C. Take it away.
Hey everyone, my name's C. You can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet at CPlaysRPG. If you liked what I did here tonight, you'll like what I do other places. So you can find me always as a producer, dramaturg, and performer over on Transplanar RPG. If you haven't already, check out Godkiller Last Hope, which is Transplanar's first in-studio actual play, featuring me and my partner Connie, killing God. So normal stuff happens over there. So if you like normal stuff, I'm lying straight to your face. So you can always find me over there. I'm also in a variety of other projects across the tabletop space, so check me out on social media to see what I'm up to at any given time. Causing problems? Almost definitely. That's it for me.
Rock and roll. Lamar.
Last is both, neither, and everyone in between. My name is Lamar, the con guy. I go by he, him pronouns. You can find me on all social medias at LEMER, the con guy, on all social medias made before 2023. You can also find me at linktr.ee/Lamar the con guy, or go to lamartheconguy.com. I am an actor. I'm a singer. I am a comedian. I'm getting into improv. You'll see me at a convention, as I've been to 8 already this year, and I have more to go. Other than that, but
On that note, Kappa, take it away.
Hi everyone. My name is Kappa. Christian's okay too. You can find me at Denny's at 3 a.m. But if you can't make it there, you can find me on the internet at the Kappa Chris. I have a lot of projects that I'm a part of. every Friday you can find me on Roads Uncharted, a podcast for the Genesis system. That's like my longest ongoing thing, but I'm part of other stuff. I don't shut up about it. You can find me on Twitter. And yeah.
Rock and roll. I am, once again, HamaSamaKun. That's HamaSamaKun on all social media platforms. You could find me doing all sorts of things, mostly memes, but occasionally I run this and also a thing called Hot Asian D&D. I realize now that I have a lot of projects. I have an entire doc.
You
that's
have
like
so many.
40 Yeah, I have like 40 plus projects just on an Excel spreadsheet. This was
Doing
like
great.
number 5, I think. So we'll see how that goes for my schedule and my sanity. But I just want to take this moment to thank both my cast, my producer, and the people at Kobold Press for helping me put this entire game together.
Ooh.
This has been an absolute blast, and I can't wait to see where our worst heroes go from here. But bye, everybody. See you next time.